Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com with our Wednesday weekend look-ahead video for January 2nd. Happy 2019, everybody. Hope you had a festive and enjoyable New Year's Eve, and good luck to everybody here in 2019. Wishing all of our Bang the Book readers, Bang the Book Radio listeners, and viewers here on our YouTube channel a happy and healthy 2019. We've got a lot of great stuff going on over at BangTheBook.com right now, including today's debut of Kyle Hunter's Daily College Basketball Picks article. Professional handicapper Kyle Hunter joins us every Monday on Bang the Book Radio. Now he'll join us every day at BangTheBook.com with some of his favorite college basketball plays for that day's slate of games. You definitely want to make sure that you check that out. And of course, always make sure you follow at Bang the Book on Twitter. We'll let you know when that article goes up so you can get the best of the numbers as they're posted. Speaking of great articles over there, Parker Michaels still doing a fantastic job in the NHL. You definitely want to check him out. Big Ten Watto previewing 3 tennis events here this weekend. He's been very, very good in the tennis market. Definite must-read every week that those are going on. Golf is back, so I wrote a preview for the Century Tournament of Champions. And then, of course, we're looking ahead to the weekend here, and then next Monday as well. The NFL playoffs, the wild card weekend is here. Then, of course, Clemson versus Alabama Part 3 in the national championship game. Best of 3 series now for the Tigers and the Crimson Tide, both of them splitting the championship games 2015-2016. Alabama, of course, winning in last year's college football playoff semifinal over Clemson, and then beating Georgia in that instant classic national championship game. So we've got that previewed over at BangTheBook.com as well. If you missed today's edition of Bang the Book Radio, very good one with Brian Leonard and Wes Reynolds. We talked these 4 NFL playoff games that I'm going to discuss, as well as college basketball conference play, a little bit of golf stuff along with that. So check out those segments on our Spreaker page, Spotify, Stitcher, our YouTube page while you're right here. Also, we got approved for iHeartRadio. So if you're an iHeartRadio listener, you can find Bang the Book Radio on there as well. All right, let's take a look here at the wild card weekend matchups. 4 of them coming up here this weekend. We start in the AFC South. Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans. If you had read my preview on Monday over at BangTheBook.com, you would be ahead of the line move here on this one. Told you that Indianapolis was going to go down. My guess is that this line closed in the pick'em range, maybe even Indianapolis -1, because it's going to be very difficult to see public money coming in on Houston in this game. And as we look out in the marketplace right now, it is Houston -1 out there. Indianapolis taking money pretty much throughout the week here so far. Some sharp money early on. Then, of course, we've had some piggybackers come in over the course of the week. Now, keep in mind, you can take the money line here, obviously, in this situation with such a small line that's out there. But, you look at the Indianapolis Colts, and they're just playing so well right now. 9 of their last 10 games. They've outgained the opposition in 9 of those last 10 games. Would expect this line to keep going down. I would think that we get to pick them here sooner rather than later. Then we'll see if we get some of that Houston buyback out there from people looking to go a little bit contrarian in the market. Total on this game, 48.5, 49 is on the rise. So if you like the over, you better get it quick. Seattle and Dallas, the next game on the board for Saturday. This one comes up Saturday evening, 8:15 Eastern Time kickoff. Dallas, a 1.5 point favorite. Total on this game up from 41.5 or 42 to 43. Couple stray 43.5s as well. Interesting line move here to see money coming in on Seattle. A lot of sharp bettors fading Seattle in the second half of the season here. They had that Monday night misleading win over Minnesota. Then the market really looking to go against Seattle from that point forward, but taking money here in the marketplace this week. Maybe a little bit of teaser exposure on this number for the odds makers with Dallas, a 2.5 point favorite at one time. You could obviously tease Seattle up into the 8.5 range. That would have been a very popular play for a lot of people out there with this low total. The total going up is rather interesting, but Dallas on the season here really moving the ball effectively both on the ground and through the air since they got Amari Cooper. You can run on the Seahawks a little bit, and of course the Seahawks with Russell Wilson, very mobile quarterback capable of making things happen. So total going up on this game to 43 or 43.5. Once again, if you like the total there, I'd probably get it now. It may tick 44, maybe 44.5, but I would expect sharp money to come back in later in the week and bump this number down some, with the expectation, of course, of a lot of running plays. Chris Carson having a great year, Seahawks having trouble protecting Russell Wilson, And as we all know, the Cowboys love to ground and pound with Zeke Elliott. So I would expect this total to come back down a little bit as the week goes along. But, of course, if you're somebody interested in the over, maybe you don't want to take that chance. So you might want to get it now before it keeps going up a little bit. We move to Sunday here in the game between the Chargers and Baltimore. Baltimore, 2.5-point favorite or a 3-point favorite plus money out there. Obviously, this is a very tough spot for the Chargers, traveling cross-country, 2,650 miles away for an early 11 a.m. kickoff against Baltimore. Not a great spot for them. But this may end up being a better spot than their home game when Ken Whisenhunt was interested in the Georgia Tech job. That was a little bit of a distraction. And, of course, Gus Bradley in this defense had not seen Lamar Jackson yet. Now, they did keep Lamar Jackson under wraps as much as any team did during the regular season, so maybe that's a feather in the Chargers' cap as they head east. Chargers 9-1 straight up away from home this season. One of their home games was played in London, and they were also, I believe, 8-3 against the spread. Or, 8-2 against the spread. Try that again. They were 7-3 against the spread in those 10 games away from home. Did not cover in London, to my recollection, but did win that game after playing the Browns the week before. So the Chargers very, very good on the road this season. So you have to think that the road doesn't really faze them at this point in time. Maybe just that early kickoff could cause this game to be a little bit sluggish at the outset. Maybe a first half under in play, something like that. Total on this game coming down from 42 to 41.5. About the only total coming down here in this weekend's action. Finally, Philadelphia and Chicago, the reigning Super Bowl champions, win out and get some help to get back into the playoffs and defend the Lombardi Trophy. They're on the road in the Windy City to take on the Chicago Bears. This line has moved down a little bit at some places here today, down from 6 to 5.5. We did see Pinnacle and Bookmaker both touch 5 on this game, but they have since gone back up into the 5.5 and 6 range. Total on this one of 41. You've got to been there, done that factor with the Eagles, of course, winning the Super Bowl last year. And when you look at the Chicago Bears, the last time the Bears made the playoffs, Mitch Trubisky was a high school senior. Tariq Cohen was in high school. Khalil Mack was a sophomore at Buffalo. So it's been a long time since the Bears have been in the playoffs. But one really interesting factor about this game, and a factor that could push me towards the under in this one, Doug Peterson, former Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy, former Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator. Nagy was the quarterback's coach, while Peterson was the OC for Andy Reid there in Kansas City. So a lot of familiarity between these two guys. You have to think both of these defenses have a script for how to stop the other team. So I would look at the under in this one, and I would expect sharp money to follow suit there and look for the under in that final game coming up on Sunday. So with college football not going on until Monday, and I'll talk about some props and some things of that sort on Bang the Book Radio, and probably mix some of those in on Monday with our Monday mashup video, I do want to mention some college basketball betting angles here for you for Saturday specifically. And, I talked about this on the Monday mashup video this week about using strength of schedule mismatches at this time of the year in college hoops. So I've isolated 4 of those games here for you on Saturday. If you listen to Monday's video and notice I talked about the Temple and Central Florida game, Temple opened a 6.5-point favorite, played a better schedule, much more battle-tested. That line came down to 4.5 last I looked. So you can get some line value if you look to play some of these strength of schedule mismatches because a lot of sharp players are looking for these same types of opportunities. So 4 games here, very simple, very cut and dry for you on Saturday. Florida Atlantic, they are 9-4 on the season. They're on the road in Murfreesboro to take on Middle Tennessee State, who is 3-10. Florida Atlantic, though, the 210th ranked schedule in the country according to KenPom. Middle Tennessee State, the 2nd ranked schedule according to KenPom. So big strength of schedule mismatch there. As I mentioned on Monday, Middle Tennessee State lost a ton, including head coach Kermit Davis, but still, they've played a very, very brutal schedule to this point. FAU has not. Maybe some line value there on the Blue Raiders on Saturday. Another one to look at here in the Horizon League. Cleveland State takes on Wisconsin Green Bay. They're just known as the Green Bay Phoenix now. Cleveland State just 5-10 on the season, but they've played the 230th ranked schedule. Green Bay, on the other hand, 7-7 on the year, but they've played the 30th ranked schedule. So a nice schedule mismatch there in the Horizon League. I know Cleveland State is a team that some sharp bettors have kind of picked up on a little bit here. Maybe you get some line value with Green Bay at home in this spot. Western Kentucky, they're 7-6 on the year. They've played the 33rd ranked schedule according to KenPom. They're on the road in Norfolk to take on Old Dominion. Old Dominion 10-3 on the year. Very, very good start for the Monarchs, but they've played the 318th ranked schedule. So don't be surprised when you see a 7-6 or a 7-7 or an 8-6 Western Kentucky team favored on the road against Old Dominion, who has 10 wins already, because Western Kentucky, the better team, and they've played the better schedule here so far this season. So very important early in the college basketball year, not to just look at the records, but also look at who these teams have played. And then finally, Samford. Mentioned Samford on Monday's show. 11-4, great start for them. They play East Tennessee State tonight. That was a game that I highlighted on Monday's video. But Samford, up until this point, before the ETSU game, 338th ranked schedule in the country. They take on Western Carolina on Saturday. Western Carolina 3-12 on the season here, but they've played the 49th ranked schedule. Quick turnaround for back-to-back road games here for Samford as well, taking on ETSU and then a much weaker Western Carolina Catamounts team. But again, Catamounts have played a very, very challenging schedule by SoCon standards. Samford has not. You'll find tips like that in Kyle Hunter's daily piece over at BangTheBook.com, as well as his situational betting article. We've got NBA and NHL situational betting articles as well. Tomorrow on Bang the Book Radio, Brad Powers will join us to talk about the wildcard games and the national championship. We'll also hear from Tony George on tomorrow's show. And then on Friday, Kyle Hunter will join us and Brent from DSI with the odds report. So you can look ahead to those segments for the rest of the week here on Bang the Book Radio. I'll be back tomorrow with my Thursday 3-pack video, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. I'm Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com.